he's asking the question here, why is he here? Am I willing to say that he's not even worth being a 5th round pick and they should cut bait on him? But anybody who saw him play in college knows that it is not a stretch to have him on your roster. I don't know that he is a problem, though. I mean, he seems like he's saying the right things. Why the hell is he on the team before the Browns have even played the second game of the 2025 season?
And now for a man who has a Gallagher machine in his living room, it's Ricky Cobb.
Oh yeah, and welcome you sweet bastards. It's a Friday in Chicago. I'm Ricky Cobb, and this is the Ricky Cobb Show. And yes, the rumors are true. I do have a Gallagher machine in my living room. And I've got the receipts to let you know that it's true. It's National Video Game Day. My friends, I mean, come on. There it is. That's mine. I always said that I thought I'd feel like I made it in life the day that I had my own Gallagher machine. And by God, back during COVID when there wasn't anything to do but sit on the couch and spend your money, I had this bad boy delivered one day from somewhere in Georgia, Ron. Just look at that sweet bastard.
How often do you play
Did
it?
you guys have those did you have those in Moscow, Ron? Love that machine. It's got over 400 games on it. I think it is. And
does it have my favorite game,
great,
Duck Hunt?
It does not have your favorite game, Duck Hunt, on it. Regrettably, you're going to need a Nintendo for that. But it's got Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, a lot of Burger Time, which is one of my favorites. Obviously, it's got Galaga. It's got a ton of classics on it. Frogger and on down the line. So occasionally I turn that on. I got it so that you have to put quarters in it. You could order it like where you could just press the button and start it, or you could order it the old-fashioned way, and I got the one where you have quarters, so I keep a jar of quarters next to it. Then about, once every month or two, I clear them out and replenish my jar from within the machine. But it's Championship Friday here as well. What a day. National Video Games Day. It's Championship Friday. We're going to find out who's going to the Why Not tournament, and we got a choice here today on our hands, folks. Let's take a look at this. These are the options. There is still time to vote. We're going to get to the poll a little bit later in the program as we do, but game-winning field goals, French fries, 90s video stores, and dodgeball and PE class. So today's theme is Championship Friday. And so we're going to be looking at some of the components that make up this poll today, and we can start with dodgeball. Look at that. There's a lot of memories that are flooding back for everybody that sees one of those, and depending upon which end of that ball you were on more often, your feelings may differ. I tweeted out, tell me you aren't experiencing a primal urge to target the weakest kid in your class and put him in the concussion protocol right now. And there was a sound that it made. Can you hear the sound that it made in your mind when it would hit somebody? Ron, these balls had a very distinctive.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a smack and a plop, and a boink, like a slap boink. Does that make sense?
I can almost see some skinny kid's glasses flying off as this thing makes contact with him. But there were two kinds of kids. There were the kids who went up to the front and just wanted to mix it up. They were ready to throw hands, as the case almost was. They were ready to throw these bad boys is what they were ready to throw. And then there were the kids that were hiding in the back. We had lunch tables at our elementary school that would fold out of the wall. And so there were a lot of kids that they would have their backs to the lunch tables. They're just trying to not get eliminated. And then maybe they would venture up to the front once, most of the carnage had already happened, Ron. But listen, man, I want to talk about a player that we've spent so much time discussing on this show. A guy who is not in the concussion protocol, but it still doesn't seem that he's seeing the field anyway. I'm talking about the lightning rod that is the man with his number retired in Boulder, Colorado. Top 5 pick, turned 5th round pick, turned object of controversy, turned objects of allegations against teams in the NFL, blackballing him for any number of unsavory reasons. Shedeur Sanders, who Tony Rizzo, Browns reporter from Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland, he hears that Shedeur, Ron, is not even running the scout team right now for the Browns. Let's take a listen, and we'll get Ronnie's reaction.
I'm hearing Shedeur is not even running scout team. He's literally watching everyone play. Bailey Zappi's running the scout team. I don't know if that's true. That's what I'm hearing. Why is he on the team? Why is he even here? If that's what you think about, because his jersey is selling, the Haslam's don't need jersey money, do they?
No, they don't.
Then why is he on the team if he's not even running scout team? Which I don't know.
It's a developmental project, Riz.
I'd love to ask him. Now today is Stefanski's day to cop out, which I love.
Yes,
he's
he
smart.
Gives the coordinators.
So smart.
Yeah.
Somebody better ask Tommy Reese whether Shedeur's running scout team or not. Because I heard he's not.
Bailey Zappi is who Tony Rizzo has heard is running scout team in Cleveland, and all I can say is go Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
Try to Bowling Green, Kentucky.
We got a motherfucker from LT Smith Stadium who's having to run the scout team because Shedeur allegedly isn't up to it. And he's asking the question here, why is he here? And again, can we have some patience in 2025 for everything? Shedeur Sanders was the recipient of a lack of patience when they decided that he should have his number retired after going 13-12 as the starting quarterback in 2 years there. Didn't even win a fucking bowl game. Okay, so 13-12, you get your number retired. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy, and I would still say that it was too soon for him to get his number retired. The Hall of Fame makes you wait 5 years. There's got to be a cooling off period. So we didn't need to rush to judgment to try to make Shedeur Sanders a collegiate legend that he's not. And we don't need to rush to judgment now to say, why the hell is he on the team before the Browns have even played the second game of the 2025 season? I do think, however, we have learned with Dylan Gabriel sitting comfortably as the backup behind Joe Flacco right now, that Shedeur Sanders very likely was drafted appropriately. Am I willing to say that he's not even worth being a 5th round pick and they should cut bait on him? Hey, remember when everybody was going crazy because of his first preseason game? He made a couple of great throws and nobody was waiting for a moment to take the victory laps, were they? Everybody that thought that he slid in the draft because of some sort of bias, some sort of plot against him, whatever that was, and we heard people making allegations that it involved race, making allegations that it involved this and the other, real serious shit that shouldn't be thrown around lightly. And well, what do you think now? Where are those people now? They're very quiet, aren't they? And I said this both ways during the preseason. You don't build him up into Superman because he had a good preseason debut. And then when his second preseason appearance went badly and he took that one awful sack, don't write him off and decide that he's a piece of shit now either. He is a young guy. He's a developmental guy, it appears, at this point in time. But anybody who saw him play in college knows that it is not a stretch to have him on your roster at this point. I would take Shedeur Sanders as a project over other guys that are in the NFL that are drawing a paycheck that are on rosters around the league. And if the Browns want to cut him, I absolutely promise you somebody is going to sign him and take a flyer on him. Because it's ridiculous. As ridiculous as it was, apparently, the people who thought that he should have gone at the top of the first round, his performance isn't bearing it out, is it? So the victory laps have stopped. Now it's like, can he stay in the league? I'm going to say pump the brakes on that too. Everybody calm down. He's not the great sure thing that so many of you thought he was. And you owe the NFL and you owe a lot of the teams that passed on him an apology, honestly. A lot of you do. You're not going to give it, the people who said this stuff, but you owe people an apology because you were talking out of your ass, alleging that racism was the reason that he wasn't drafted. Apparently now that we've seen him, there were 32 teams in the league who looked at him and decided that he didn't need to go before the 5th round. And apparently, based on the dissatisfaction that we're already seeing in Cleveland from the one team that finally did draft him, those other teams may not have been so crazy. But I still think it's too early by far to write off Shedeur Sanders. Ronnie, what's your read on it?
We would not be having this conversation if he wasn't Deion's son. That's my take on it. He's a 5th round pick who isn't even running scout team. It's super rare that a player is drafted in the 5th round and isn't immediately recognized as, oh, wait, we got to steal like Brock Purdy. It's just rare that somebody's drafted that low and eventually makes it, if they haven't been identified relatively early as somebody that can help them out. I don't know, dude. I guess I agree with you if you say somebody would pick him up if they cut him, but 31 teams had an opportunity to pick him in the first 5 rounds and they didn't. So I don't know how many teams out there would want to take that problem without that much talent. But there's a reason he got picked in the 5th round.
Well, I don't know that he is a problem, though. I mean, he seems like he's saying the right things. He seems like he's doing the right things.
Okay, you know what? Problem is an absolutely poor choice of words by me. Distraction.
If he's even that. I think a lot of the distraction is over. It's like people have moved on. This
Cleveland
is the first time we've talked about him in a while.
But Cleveland Sports Talk is talking about him. So he's a distraction.
Cleveland should just be fucking lucky that they have something to talk about.
But seriously, Ricky, what other 5th round pick that was the second quarterback picked by the team who's not even running scout team would we be talking about right now? Zero. It's because it's Deion's kid. He's a distraction.
Absolutely nobody. You're right. You're right, Ron. Well, look, Shedeur was born in 2002. I know somebody else that was born in 2002 who just happens to be an integral part of our show family. And Jared was saying that he wasn't sure about weighing in on the poll of the day today because he doesn't remember 90s video stores, which makes me feel nice and properly old today.
I wonder if he's ever really seen a VHS.
Some of us do. He may not. It's like when, I remember years ago I went to Shakertown and I saw the remnants of how the Shakers lived. Ron, have you ever heard of the Shakers?
Are they like Quakers but different?
Sect. They were like Quakers who really liked to bust a move. So they were the Shakers.
Shake it like a salt
they didn't
shaker?
believe in reproducing, is my understanding. So
I'm sorry. Could you explain that?
It's a little hard to have a dominant religion when you're unwilling to pass on your DNA. But here's one for you, Ron. You don't see as many of these anymore, but for a long time, as the blockbuster era was ending, it seemed like you'd drive through any decently sized town and you would just see the blockbuster carcass sitting there with the mold or the mildew or whatever had collected behind the sign. And I said, if you close your eyes and you're very still and you really concentrate, you can almost hear a guy challenging his late fees for City Slickers too. It's like listening to a seashell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, look at that. They're telling him that it's They're telling him that it's 2 days late and he's not buying it. Or if you just forgot to return one, those were always the terrible horror stories. Somebody would lose it or whatever, and then they would try to charge them $88.
Dude, the anxiety
fucking
of returning VHS tapes is
tape.
something I have not thought about for a really long time, but that anxiety was real, Ricky.
Yeah, it was. It was a real anxiety. We
Like, you
had,
have
when
to
I worked at the
plan
video
your days
vault,
around it.
yeah. Dude, in 1997, sometimes you'd be like, I'm going to rent 2 tonight, or maybe I'll rent 3. Or maybe you were really ambitious and you're like, I'm going to rent 4. And then
Yeah.
like the due date would come around and you still hadn't watched one. And you're just like, well, shit. Or you just forget all of them. The stress was real.
Mhm.
I remember when I thought it was an upgrade when Netflix would mail you DVDs. Remember how they would send them to you in the little envelope and then you'd
Yep.
send them back? At one time, that seemed like the most modern thing in the world, and now that seems like it belongs to the Amish community, you know? So
Shake up
anyway,
the shakers.
but there's the poll of the day. Again, we're examining some of the elements of the poll in the day. You know, there was no judge and jury at Blockbuster. I mean, I guess the manager could waive your late fees if they wanted to. I was that cool guy. I would just press a button and I would make late fees go away, because for $4.35 an hour, why the fuck do I care? Why do I want to hold somebody hostage for money that I'm never going to see? So I was the dude that you wanted to come to my register at the video vault,
So
because
you're not a
I
company
would
man?
wave a magic wand. If you seem cool, well, let's not start rumors here at Outkick, Ron. But you know what? There was no, like I said, there was no judge really, but Donald Trump has had a lot of trouble with judges. Wouldn't you agree? We found one finally that he likes. The New York Post is Donald Trump meets Aaron Judge. Look at that. There you go. That's the best experience that Donald Trump has had with a judge probably is in his entire fucking life. Is all that I can tell you. Aaron Judge now 4th on the New York Yankees all-time home run list. And Ron, let's go ahead and fully examine this championship Friday and talk about the one free agent that you always wanted to sign onto your team when you opened up your bag when you came home or you were going through a drive-through window. I know everybody knows this sweet bastard right here.
Yeah.
That one onion ring that decided that he was going to take his talents to French Fry Town and win not 1, not 2, not 3, but a whole bunch of championships for you. I don't know about you, but I'm always psyched when I order fries somewhere and I get that onion ring. The one that just said, fuck it, and decided that they were going to sign with the other team. It always tastes at least 200% better than if you had actually ordered onion rings, Ron. I don't know why that
you know,
is,
when I was a
but it's
kid,
just
we didn't
one of
have
the laws of life.
we didn't have McDonald's apple pie money, but I can
So
tell
sad.
you as an adult, it's awesome to be able to just look and go, yeah, I'll upgrade for onion rings for $2 extra and not think twice about it. I mean, that's a great feeling. Just give me the onion rings. I'm a baller.
Why doesn't McDonald's have onion rings? Why
Because they
doesn't
would
McDonald's
suck.
have onion rings?
Because they would suck. They'd be minced.
Well,
they'd be minced
well.
and then processed, and they'd all be uniform in the same shape. Like, you need your onion rings to be really diverse in terms of their shape and their size and all that stuff. Yeah, you got to have a real
All right,
onion
well,
ring
yes.
in there.
Yeah, we need DEI in the onion ring world is what you're telling me. Ronnie, listen, I got to tell you, my friend, it's Friday. That means it's not too late to make some prize picks. Ron, you and I make decisions every day, but on prize picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on prize picks, where it's good to be right. And I'm right so often, it seems like it would just be a damn shame if I didn't profit from it. And I am going to profit from it this weekend because Prize Picks is fun and it's simple to play. Take a look at this special discount that Prize Picks is offering this week. Travis Kelce, max discount. All he has to do is get 1 receiving yard and you're going to hit. If that is one of your predictions that he will go more. And I would suggest everybody use the max discount, get Travis Kelce. Here are my picks. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this season. Which players are going off, which players aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Takes you no time. Get in there. You got lots of options. Turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Use Prize Picks code Ricky to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That is code Ricky. That will get you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Join millions of users. Sign up today. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And if Will Lutz can kick two extra points rather.
Yeah.
I love this play, Ryan. All the Broncos have to do is score 2 touchdowns on the road against the Colts, and Will Lutz needs to not trip over his own feet on any of the point after attempts. Travis Kelce needs to catch 1 pass for positive yardage, and I'm going to cash in 2.5 times my money on it.
Yeah, man, I see a trend with you on these, Ricky. You take the bonus pick, kind of the freebie one they do, and then you pair it with a kicker. That's your thing.
That's right. It worked for me with Cameron Dicker, and I'm going to try it out this week with Will Lutz. I just like 1.5 PATs.
It seems like a gimme.
I think the Broncos are going to score at least 2 touchdowns. It's just the fucking Colts. They're not playing the 85 Bears. I know that they're on the road, but, come on. I mean, look, there's almost nothing better than Prize Picks, but if we're talking about things that are at least on that level, maybe even better, I don't know. Let's start with the fries in the bottom of the bag. I've always said that those belong to Dad. Has always been my theory, Ron. The bag fries, there they are. Look at them. The fries that you find at the bottom of the bag, they taste better. It's science. What am I going to tell you? That's just the way that the world is. They're bonus fries. They're dad fries. Because, if you're the parent, have you ever been in that position where you are picking up the fast food and you're bringing it home to Lori and Tyler, and, you don't want to, reach in and, nibble on their fries, but if you just go down to the bottom of the bag.
They don't know how full the fries were. You can skim fries off your kids. Come on. You do it.
Ron, are you aware that the Chicago Sky are 1-10 without Angel Reese this year?
Fry skimmer.
They fell to 1-10 after a loss just last night. They're struggling, and Angel Reese is struggling because she's already been suspended for a game due to receiving her 8th technical foul, which is an automatic suspension in the WNBA. Then the team suspended her for the first half of a game
for being
a few days ago for being, not a good team member and taking shots at the ability level of her teammates. And now she's out with a back injury, but the Sky are struggling like Joe Namath without her. They're now 1-10 when she's not playing. And Sophie Cunningham has taken a break from mall twerking to weigh in on the subject. Let's listen to Sophie Cunningham.
When you're losing and it's been a frustrating season, everyone is feeling those emotions. And when I say everyone, it's not just her. I'm sure her teammates feel it, her coaches feel it, the organization, the fans, literally everyone feels that. And there's some things that there's just some things that you just can't say. And I think one of my biggest things is I'm a very team first person. I always put the team before my feelings. And I think that should be a standard. And so you got to protect your locker room. And so you just can't be saying everything you're feeling, because that just is not a good look. And then your teammates feel a certain way, and that causes division in the locker room. So it's just protect your locker room at all costs.
Ron, your thoughts?
Well, that's just good advice for life. You just don't say everything you think. That's just good advice for everything, Ricky.
See, that didn't sound like a woman that would put on booty shorts with half of her ass hanging out and twerk at the local mall to me.
Listen, she is crafting that image. She is just bouncing back back and forth between, I really can't believe you're doing this. Like, come on, be better. And then she's like, I'm a wise old sage, and let me tell you exactly how you should live your life.
There's
And
so
you're
much
like,
hypocrisy,
Sophie!
though. There's so much. I'm not I'm not an Angel Reese fan, but I'm not an Angel Reese hater really either at this point. She has shown progress this year. She has played a lot better. Her shooting percentage is up, her assists are up. She has played better on the court. She says a lot of dumb things. She's young. A lot of the criticisms towards her are justified. Don't get me wrong at all. But I think some of it goes over the top, because when I look at some of the things that Sophie Cunningham has done, if Angel Reese did those exact same things, they would have buried her for it. Am I wrong? If Angel Reese had set up with her ass hanging out and twerked in them all, I don't think anybody would be saying to be like Angel Reese.
You're correct.
Fair? Yeah.
You're 100% correct.
Let's be real here. This idea that Sophie Cunningham is somehow the example of perfection while Angel Reese is awful. If there's a Venn diagram of Sophie Cunningham and Angel Reese, there's more overlap than people are acting like there is. Now, I do think Sophie Cunningham's a better teammate. Everything that she's had to say, everything that we've seen on the court, I would say at this point in her career that she's a better teammate. But I'm a little tired of everybody putting Angel Reese on a tee. It's getting a little bit old for me, Ronnie. And I say that as somebody who is well aware of her faults. The WNBA playoffs are about to get underway, Ron. And again, they've got first round playoff games that are going up directly against the NFL. And as much as ESPN is behind the WNBA, as much as they push it and push it and push it, and I've criticized it before that they're kind of cramming the WNBA down our throats, whether we want it or not, because they have a vested business interest in this. Why on earth would you put WNBA playoff games up against the NFL directly head to head? We got tips on Sunday at 1, 3, and 5 p.m. You're going up against the most popular sport in America. It really doesn't make sense to me, Ronnie.
It's why wouldn't they play these games on Tuesday and Wednesday when there's no football, right? No college, no pro, no high school, no football. Like, you could own Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the 8 people that watch the WNBA. So
yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
It does not make any sense. Yeah, Sunday traditionally those are better time slots, but it depends on where people's attention is at. And I think that they're just going to get lost in the shuffle. It's not going to help the ratings. And then I'm just waiting for all of the headlines after playoff ratings down without Caitlin Clark. I can predict what the entire next week of the WNBA narrative is going to be right now. And I'm already exhausted with it. Ron, before we get to the poll of the day, let's go through a few more tweets here on this Championship Friday themed show that we have. And speaking of PE class, shout out here, although this is not directly in the poll today, we're talking about PE class back in the day. And pretty much, if you're of a certain age, there's a very good likelihood that your PE teacher got out a parachute periodically and you engaged in parachute-related activities. Has anybody ever actually gotten to the bottom of this?
Oh, Big Parachute was behind it. You didn't see the documentary on Big Parachute from the 70s?
Big Parachute was dominant in the 70s. We would do the whole thing that those kids are getting ready to do there probably, which
Go
is
underneath?
Take shelter underneath it.
Yeah.
Then we would have another game where Coach Witcher, the great Marvin Witcher, who year-round wore shorts. Coach's shorts and like fucking, field turf shoes year-round for this motherfucker. Socks pulled up to his knees. Always like Mr. Witcher. But yeah, we would play games where he would give us it would be like a wiffle softball. And you would try to and everybody on each side would be doing this whole thing, and you would try to get it to fly off on the other team's
kind of popcorn
side.
It, right? You try to popcorn balls off of it,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if there was just some manual that came out when you were a gym teacher and everybody got it in the 70s? And they were like, congratulations on your job. You will find the parachute in the equipment closet. Here are 6 games that you can play. Good luck. Godspeed to you. So here we are. America's poll of the day. Let's go into the options, Ron. Game-winning field goals, French fries, 90s video stores, and dodgeball during PE class. Break it down for me, Ronnie, in a championship fashion as only you can.
This might be one of the first weeks in a while that I actually really like all 4 of them. I like any game-winning anything. I don't care if it's a sport that I really don't like. I like game-winning home runs. I like game-winning anything. So game-winning field goals, those are good. French fries, again, there are so many different variations of French fries. Which one do you like the best? The only French fries I don't like are soggy French fries. So yeah, 90s video stores, great memories, Friday nights roaming around, trying to figure out what you wanted to watch. Or the other one was trying to be strategic because a new like blockbuster movie that had just been at the theater came out and you tried to get to the store before everybody else so you could get that movie and have it for the weekend. And then dodgeball and PE class, loved it. I told you I was better at catching the ball than throwing people out. But I'm going to stick with my fat ass self and go French fries.
All right, Ron, I just realized I forgot to throw to America's poll of the day. And what I think this would be a great opportunity for, rather than just moving on and not doing it, can we get a full shot of Ronnie? And I want Ronnie to give me his best Ricky Cobb America's poll of the day introduction here on this Championship Friday, Ron.
All right, I'm going to try to remember exactly what you said. I'm going to be off a little bit, but let's go. You ready? All right.
I'm ready.
You know what time it is? It's time for America's poll today, where the eagle flies high.
I'll take that. I'm happy with that. All right, let me go through my analysis real quickly, and we'll let Tim get a word in as well. Game-winning field goals, look, it depends on who kicks it. Game-winning field goals are awesome, or they'll, kick you in the balls. It's going to be Jared who's going to join us, by the way, not Tim. Fuck you, Tim. Where are you at when I need you?
Tim's a Stromboli.
French fries. Yeah, Stromboli. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but if it's bad, I mean it right now, Tim. No, I'm just kidding. French fries. Hey, look, man. Good Lord, I've consumed the entire state of Idaho during my life. So look, pretty clearly, that's what I'm going to have to vote for. 90s video stores. Look, I worked in one. I know what it was like. I do have some nostalgic love for the old school video stores, but I don't think I can vote for it. And then dodgeball, look, I'm a dodgeball proponent. I would have no problem with bringing dodgeball back. We need just a little bit more, rub some dirt on it and walk it off in this society.
Toughen these kids up.
With that being said, yeah, let's toughen up a little bit. Maybe you won't be afraid of words so much after you dodge a few balls. But anyway, let's go to PA Jared here. Let's get the youth perspective on this today. Jared, I know that 90s video stores predate your existence, but break it all down for us.
So I agree with you, Ron. I think this is one of the better Championship Fridays in a while where, again, 90s video store is not really my thing. There's a reason for that. But other than that, these other 3 are really great. Game-winning field goals. I think I've shared this before. I'm a huge Minnesota Vikings fan. If anyone remembers Blair Walsh in the 2015 playoffs where he missed a 27-yard field goal to win, that makes you experience game-winning field goals when they happen way more, because I hated myself that day. Fries, you also hate yourself when you eat a lot of fries, but they're amazing. It kind of depends on which one. Curly fries and waffle fries are the 2 best in my opinion. Dodgeball and PE class, I even did that a lot. And when you were playing dodgeball, you knew you were having a good day, whether that was 4th or 5th grade, whatever. Everyone loved to play dodgeball. but I think I got to go with fries, man. I like Ron. I do kind of tend to go a little bit more towards the food one, but fries it's one of the greatest sides that there are. I got to go with
The
that.
greatest, Jared. It's the greatest.
I mean,
Yeah.
The most
I mean,
versatile. You
French
could put
fries
fries
are
with
great.
everything.
you can.
Everything.
We're not even
Yeah.
we're not even going to let the fact that France is involved in this
Freedom
turn
fries.
us off.
Freedom
They're
fries.
They're too
Freedom
good.
fries.
They're too good.
Yeah, let's forget
Jared,
about
you
that.
should be lucky that you weren't born earlier. I'm glad that you don't remember 1998. I guess it would have been January of '99 when it happened. But Gary Anderson, what was he,
Had
like
never missed a kick.
38 of 38?
Had never
Yeah,
missed a
he was
kick.
perfect during the regular season.
You know, I lived in
And he had,
Atlanta
what was
when
it,
that
like a
happened.
38 yarder, something like that, and
I
fucking
mean-
blew a chance for Randall Cunningham to start a game in the Super Bowl. That's terrible.
This team has lost in every fucking way imaginable. That anytime that there's a game-winning field goal, it usually doesn't work. Over the last couple of years, it kind of has, whatever. It does make you appreciate them a lot more when you root for a team that sucks. But I couldn't imagine not having fries, so I'm gonna have to go with that. As great as game-winning field goals are, they're
All right.
awesome. But
The consensus here among the hungry boys that the three of us are on this
Hungry
program
boys.
is French fries. I got a feeling French fries is going to win this, but dodgeball is dangerous. Let's see how it goes. And oh my goodness, look at that. I think French fries are going to have to go into the tit.
In the tit? Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable. French fries, that's almost on a bacon level, Ron. It's not quite bacon or beer, but I mean, not only do I think French fries should win today, I think French fries should be no worse than like a 3 seed in the Why Not tournament. But
Ricky, they're
ran
truly,
into the wrong opponent today.
They are truly the side that you can have with the nicest meal and the most pedestrian meal. Like
That's right.
They're everything. Yeah, no. French fries should absolutely have won, but they didn't. That's why we
Versatile.
vote. That's why we vote.
All right, Ron, the Guardian cap. We talked about it last year. How fucking ridiculous these things look. And look, I've had the conversation. It's difficult to listen to Brett Favre talk about the impact that concussions have had on him. We've had Brett on the program twice. He's been very open about that. Kenny Stabler's one of my heroes. His children have been so nice to me, and I understand that CTE is a very real thing, and we don't want anybody to suffer these traumatic brain injuries. However, if your only method of avoiding it is doing this, maybe you should just find a different line of work, Ron. The Guardian caps, the evidence is very minimal that they even really help that much. And I've come to the conclusion that they're kind of like COVID masks. That whatever benefit they have in terms of reducing your chances of not getting what it is that you're afraid of getting, whether that's a concussion or whether that's COVID, the psychological benefit, I think, is the main thing that people get from this. Because I got to tell you, man, that is just beyond ridiculous looking.
I feel so bad for laughing, and I feel so bad for agreeing with you because like they're out here
I'm
entertaining
not even
us.
trying to be mean.
No, I know
know
you're not, but it's
It's
still
just-
like I don't
yeah.
like the way it looks on my TV. You look dorky. Take that off. It's just
Yeah.
I feel
I
feel
want to
bad,
enjoy
but
the
that's
cool
how I feel.
NFL.
That's how I feel.
Bro, if everybody, he looks like a toddler wearing
He
like an adult helmet right there. You know what I mean?
He looks
It's
like a
adorable.
he looks like
It's
a real
when
life
your
bobblehead.
6-year-old puts
No,
on
a
a
real life
helmet.
bobblehead.
He does. He does. So I think we have another picture here, Ron. And this joke would be better if they weren't wearing the whiteout helmets. But I'm just like, later on when you get home, you just leave it out in the yard because you probably can't get it through your doorway. It's like a
Decorative.
couch.
Decorative.
This fucking thing. Yeah. Yeah, afterwards you just throw it up and you got a nice decorative piece for your lawn. So maybe there's some benefit there, my friends. We're about to go to a break, but before we do, guys, be aware today is your last chance to sign up for the Outkick sweepstakes. That's right, the big game, Athens, Georgia, Alabama, and Georgia. What is more SEC football than that? And the ultimate fan experience is being offered by Outkick. Get in on it today. The game is on the 27th. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow as we are live here with you right now. And you got until the end of the day today. This is it. So get in there, sign up, and take your chance at having the trip of your damn life to Athens, Georgia, to see Georgia probably put a beat down on Kalen DeBoer's Alabama squad, if my crystal ball is working correctly. All right, folks, we're going to go to a break, but when we come back, I'm going to sit down with Green Bay Packers great Ahman Green, and it'll all happen straight ahead right after this, right here on the Ricky Cobb Show.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football. You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
Outkick's giving one lucky fan and a guest the VIP treatment.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit outkick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. Outkick.com/sweepstakes.
So are we going to have YouTube TV and Fox and everything? Everything's going to be fine by game day, right?
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Oh. At least if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, the statement that Fox put out last night was scathing, to say the least. They accused YouTube TV of, taking advantage of their sort of, power and monopoly in the marketplace and not having any sort of serious discussion. So at this point, if I'm a YouTube TV subscriber and I want to watch Texas, Ohio State, my plan is to get up early and get a seat at the bar.
Well, that's a great plan. Actually.
Meanwhile, Chad, if you want to see Auburn and Baylor, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
Yeah, as a Fox employee, I've got the free subscription to Fox One, so I can watch Auburn and Baylor on there. That's kind of a humble brag on my part, but I will be seeing that even as a YouTube TV subscriber, which is amazing for me. Not so much for the college football fan out there. Amanda, when you cover these stories in sports business and coverage of leagues that get into these disputes with providers, isn't the ultimate loser just the consumer of the sport or that product? Like, we understand why these things happen with one gigantic company wanting more money out of another gigantic company. That part of it to me is kind of boring, but what the actual effect is to the fan.
My guest today is a 4-time Pro Bowl selection at the running back position. He ran for over 9,000 yards in his NFL career, one of the very best of his era. My pleasure to welcome to the program Ahman Green. Ahman, how are you?
I'm good, Ricky, man. How you doing?
Doing very well, sir, and only appropriate that you are on the show on National Video Game Day. We'll get to that just a little bit later, but I'm aware that you are a big-time a gamer. But let's start with something that you know a little bit about, and that is the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, that is the team where you played the vast majority of your NFL career. It's where you made your name and did some historic things there at Lambeau Field. The Packers obviously got a real surprise this year. The fans got a Christmas present early when they found out that Jerry Jones had shipped Micah Parsons to Green Bay. And here we said after last night's win against Washington, 2-0, Micah's looking good in that uniform right now. What is your take on the whole Micah Parsons situation and how it changes the complexion of the Green Bay Packers 2025 season?
Well, he looks good on that field too. He's coming in, wrecking shop causing problems for offensive linemen, for the Detroit Lions and for the Washington Commanders. And it's just his disruption is what's the biggest thing I see when he comes off the ball. Even if he doesn't get to the quarterback, he's double teamed. And so that means he has 2 offensive linemen taken away from the other 4 that's rushing or other 3 that's rushing. And then somebody has a one-on-one that can win. So that's where the disruption and I say the success for the Green Bay defense has been at so far. And obviously offense playing at a top level with Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and all the receivers, Tucker Kraft, Wicks, and Musgrave doing a fantastic job. But to find out the way we did, I think the whole world was like, what? I mean, I was streaming. I think I was streaming Madden or Doom Dark Ages or something. And my phone just starts blowing up. I'm looking at my phone. Usually, I'm trying to look at the chat on my stream, but it's my phone buzzing that Michael Parsons just got traded. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So for that standpoint, craziness. I mean, I kind of watched a little bit from distance, Jerry Jones, and how he was rationalizing that he was going to get him, get Micah signed. And it's just, we're talking over it. And it just didn't seem no urgency because training camp was coming for me. Training camp was coming to the end. And, it's like, this is one of your better, your guys. Like, you got to get them signed up, get them on the practice field so they can start getting reps with your team, with his team, to make sure he's in rhythm once the season starts. But it just seemed no urgency was there. And then we saw what happened. So Packer fans, loving life right now. Of course, I'm still a Packer fan and just impressed about the way he's been able to, Micah has been able to just merge into Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator for the Packers defensive scheme, and do it, simply. And really it's simply because he's just that type of talent. Like those type of talents, when you have good athletes at a sport, you just sell, especially Micah, you just say, hey, see ball, go to ball, attack ball. That's it. And the rest is up to him and the defensive guys that are seasoned pros, Rashard Gary, Slayton, McDuffie, the linebacker, Mike linebacker, they all know how this could work. And right now, he's still learning. Micah's still learning the scheme. But what's easy is all the guys that's been there for 2 or 3 years, they just say, hey, man, just go right here and we'll got you back. We'll make sure we take care of everything else. So that's why that defense is looking so fantastic right now, because everybody's realizing, hey, we got to collaborate at a different level. And so we just communicate, give Micah less information and let him just go be a rush in and get to the quarterback.
Ahman, as you look at the NFC North, a really good division, obviously. Yeah. You've got the Lions, who lost both of their coordinators, Aaron Glenn now with the Jets as head coach, Ben Johnson here in Chicago, Bears coach. We got our first look at J.J. McCarthy on Monday night. It didn't look so good for 3 quarters, but then that fourth quarter looked a lot better. As you look at the Lions right now with the transition that's going on, losing both your coordinators, you look at the Vikings, a 14-win team, Ahman, that I was really surprised that they were willing to turn that over to a young guy who is functionally a rookie, who had never taken a snap in the NFL before week 1. And then, of course, we've got the Bears here with Ben Johnson, hopefully bringing some new mojo here for our team. And we're trying to put the pieces around Caleb Williams. As you look at the division, how do you see it shaking out this year?
Oh, man, it's gonna shake for all 4 months of the year. So from now until December, and then a little bit of we'll finally see the end come January. But this season for the NFC North is going to be rocking and rolling the whole time, because you got teams like Minnesota that had a big changeover in the quarterback position. Sam Darnold gets free agent out to Seattle. He's taking the reins there, and now J.J. McCarthy. He is a guy that has he's been polished. He was under Harbaugh at Michigan, so he understands pro coaching. I'm pretty sure the same type of coaching that Justin Herbert out LA with the Chargers is getting as a quarterback to Harbaugh is the same experience that JJ got, but at 4 years at the college level. So that right there is one thing that's got him ready to be at this level, even though he missed his official rookie year. And then two, McDonald, his coach, is a former quarterback. He's a backup most of his career. So he understands how to prepare a player who's not on the field. And so that right there, those two things right there is a bonus. And then on top of that, JJ he's a young professional, right? Even though it's people might like look at it as a little weird, he does his meditating and all that. Hey, if you're a professional, you do what you need to do to get yourself ready to play, whatever that is. I had a routine that was a little different from guys in my locker room. I used to put Batman symbols on my tape job under my socks, okay, and the pony sticker. Your whole Walter Payton. I was a Walter Payton fan, so I put the pony that he wore. He wore pony shoes. I'm sorry, kangaroo shoes. Excuse me, kangaroo shoes. So I had a kangaroo. I will put on my spat under my socks, and a Batman symbol that was brought in by the head trainer for the Packers now, Brian Ingle. Shout out to Flea, great guy. So I will do that every game. You know why? Because I wanted to be locked in as I read the comics of Batman and how he would be so locked into taking down a villain. The villains would be either your Bears or the Vikings or the Lions. And that means I'm ready to play. So he's doing him. He's doing the meditating right before the game, out there on the football field, under the goalpost or wherever. And that just shows me maturity and shows me he is being him. And he's going to be that person out there on that field. And you saw that's why fourth quarter happened. When you give up somebody that is a competitor an opportunity, and unfortunately the Bears did that night, they gave him an opportunity to get back in the game, and they did. And surrounded by some good, pretty good running backs. Aaron Jones was there and some decent receivers. So that's where that leadership from what he learned at Harbaugh at Michigan and moving on up. And that's, sitting on that bench a year actually helped him because then he could watch the game and learn a little bit better from Darnold. So that was all bonuses to get him to be successful right now.
Ahman, you had to go and remind me of what you used to do to my Bears. I still have nightmares about you and Brett Favre. Come on now.
It was business. It was business. It wasn't personal. I always say that to all the Bear fans I run into. But I know you have more to that question, but the whole division itself from top to bottom, I know I just talked majority about Minnesota right there, but from top to bottom, it is hyper competitive. Detroit, I believe, is going to probably, from the loss they just had from the Packers, it's going to take them a few weeks to get back in rhythm. I believe their defense is there. Aiden Hutchinson, he's screaming off the edge. They just got to all work together to be like, all right, what happened this first game? Watch the film, correct the mistakes, and to get better. The Bears, same thing, right? You had a game, you were winning this game. You should not have given that up. But why did that happen, right? Watch the film. Why did we give up this lead? We had bad throws. We had bad decision making, either between play calling, but then also players within the play. Caleb and his I say right now, his mechanics has to get a little bit better. He throws the ball. We already know he could throw the ball, right? But you don't have to go out there and try to chuck it through your wide receiver's chest. And that IE goes back to my old buddy and pal Brett Favre, where he used to try to throw the ball through the wide receiver's chest or the DB's chest so they won't get an interception. But right now, you just got to play ball, man. You're a fantastic athlete. You got an upgraded offensive line right now, and you got a great running back in DeAndre Swift, and you got receivers galore between the tight end position and the actually wide receiver position. You have that. So just go out there, start off calm and collective, and don't be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Because when you do that, then you're helping the other team because you're kind of wasting what he has as a talent when he's starting to scramble. When he's sitting in the pocket, he's calm, cool, and collective. As we say in the locker room, he is a problem to deal with. And he didn't throw for 4,000 yards for no reason last year, even though he struggled. It's like he struggled and he had 4,100 yards passing. Like, oh my goodness. So, like I said, this division is hyper competitive. So it's really down to a who's who come December. I say November after Thanksgiving. That's what we'll see where all the dust settles to see which 2 or 3 teams are still kind of banging it out in the NFC North.
Ahman, I said at the outset a little bit of your resume: 4 Pro Bowls, over 9,000 yards rushing. You had an 1,800 plus yard season. I think you went for over 2,200 yards from scrimmage that year. You were a horse, man. I mean, you were the bell cow. You were the guy. And I was wanting to get your thoughts on the changes to the running back position, the way that the league seems to view it. I know that we've got some great running backs today. Saquon Barkley's a historically great running back. Derrick Henry is a historically great running back. I'm not saying that those guys aren't still out there, but it definitely seems like over the past generation, there's been a change in the way that teams view the position, both in terms of contract, in terms of kind of just plugging guys in and mixing and matching rather than having that guy that's going to get 25 or 30 touches on Sunday, with a few exceptions. What are your thoughts on the way that the position has evolved since your playing days?
I would say I say 2 years ago, I wasn't happy because I'm like, they're disrespecting the run game, from the offensive line to the running backs that run the ball. They're disrespecting it. And I say is the GMs and some of the negotiators within the team organization devaluing a running back, saying that, okay, we could just get away with these 3 guys. And not saying that 3 guys is not a good choice, running back by committee. No, what I'm saying is sometimes if you have that dude in the room, and when a dude in a room is like the 2 guys you just mentioned, you have a Saquon or you have a Derrick Henry sitting in your room, that is the one person that at the end of the day, there are, like what you just called me, there are the bell cow. Give that person the ball the most, and then everybody else, you know what? You got to be backup dancers, and you got to own that role, right? I had that job at Green Bay. Tony Fisher, Najee Davenport was my rookies that I brought up, and they knew their roles. Like they understood that, okay, when Ahman's not in the game, it's going to be between Tony or Najee to come out there on the field and take the reins, and then don't lose a step. It's the same speed. It's the same power. Najee was 6'1", 250. Tony was 6'2", 225 or something like that. And so it didn't change in terms of the running back or the style. I say the style was a little different from 3 of us, so which was good. So that means it threw the defense off a little bit. They can never get used to one guy at any point in time, but when I was rolling, when I got the hot hand for the night, they understood they had to sit on the bench. So today, fast forward to now where you got Saquon, you got Derrick, like I already mentioned, you got a guy down in Atlanta like Bijan Robinson. You have these different size running backs. And I say different size, a little bit smaller to my liking to be the bell cow. Because I'll say if you're going to be a guy who's going to run the ball quite a bit of times, you're going to have 300 carries plus in a season. You got to be somebody with the stats of around 6 foot, if not 6'1", and you want to be at least 210, if not above, because obviously you are the battering ram. You don't know it or not. Even if you're a shifty guy like Bijan, sometimes you got to drop your shoulder. This is football. It's a physical sport. So when you are the bell cow, you just got to understand that this is what I got to do. I got to be the battering ram, or I got to be a guy that's nimble to get to the flat or get to the edge real fast, because I know I have a speed element about me. I could catch the ball out the backfield. And also, you know what? I could pick up the blitz. And so that's what I see all these running backs that they were discounting 2 years ago. Saquon Barkley was with the Giants. The reason why he's a Philadelphia Eagle is because the Giants didn't feel he was, they were worried about him getting hurt and all that. I say, you know what? One thing I've said for a long time since I played, and even now since I retired, is if you're going to worry about a football being hurt, don't work in football, because we're going to get hurt. I remember I had seasons where my ankles were never right until the season ended, but I was playing. I never missed a game. If I missed a game, that means it was serious. So football players, rugby players, even basketball players, we're going to get beat up, throughout the season. And so you got to leave that out of your psyche as an organization. Or, if you're the owner or you're the GM or you're somebody that negotiates, you're worrying about players getting hurt. That's part of the game. So right now, what I'm seeing now, the influx of, wow, everybody's really, basically getting put on Front Street now saying, hey, we got to pay attention to the run back position. We got to make sure we pay to the ones that are making the difference in a game. Josh Jacobs came to Green Bay and year 1 Pro Bowl. That's a difference maker. So when they are a difference maker, you better show them your just due, or you're going to pay the karma budget at the end, and you don't want to pay that when you got to make sure you got to pay a running back what he's just due.
All right, Ahman, it is National Video Game Day, which is an appropriate day to have you on the show because I know you are a huge gamer, big time, serious gamer. So I've got to ask you, we've all played Madden. We all know what that's like. And there, yeah, look at that, the layout there you got. All right. What was it like for you? Did you enjoy playing as Ahman Green when Madden would come out? And did you ever take issue with the ratings that you got any particular season?
Yeah, yes and yes. I love playing as myself. And actually, I had the fortunate opportunity to start playing with playing on a game with my character on Bill Walsh College Football, because I was on the 1995 Nebraska Cornhusker team, and we eventually became a national title team later that year. So I was on that game. So I was in college freshman year, like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I was a gamer. I was like, this is funny. So
That's pretty good.
As things progressed, right, now I get drafted, I'm a Seahawk, and then boom, I'm a Packer. So yeah, I had a couple little qualms. I had some thorns. I will always play with myself and will be like, I'm faster than this. I'm a 4-1 guy. Like, people, if they check the stats, I'm on, I want to say unofficial, but as a record, I ran a 4.17 and a 4.18 in my pro day. So at the time, it's a pro day, so they're not really making it official, but I know on some websites they call it official. So I'm 2 or 3 slots behind Bo Jackson, and he went 4.12, and he was scary. He was 20 almost 20 pounds heavier than me. And he went 4.2, and then Dion is right behind me. So if you want to talk about speed, I always let my Madden guys know, hey, I need to be a 96 or above for speed. And then all the other stuff, happens, juking, truck stick and all that. That better be well over a 90, or I'm going to always be calling and sending an email. I had a good friend, Sandy Sadenful, that used to work there at EA. He kind of catered. He was like the liaison to all the athletes or to all the football players. And I would call him directly and give him a hard time. But it was more for fun. It's just hilarious now today to see the younger athletes when they do the whole go to a team and they bring the EA camera and they asking for their Madden ratings, and those guys are like, it's funny because some of them are legit. Like, you know what, you nailed it. Offensive linemen, they succumb to saying, you know what, you got me. I'm not that fast, or I don't jump that high.
All right, so let me ask you 2 more video game questions here, and then I want to let my audience know where they can find you. What is your all-time favorite video game, and what video game are you most into right now at this moment?
Oh man, so all-time game. I think about it every day. Probably it's tough, man. I got some good ones. I would just say all time. I have to go with old arcade cabinet favorite Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man, and then on the console I have to say Legend of Zelda or Super Mario Brothers. Those 2 on the console and regular Nintendo, the NES. I used to play that religiously every day when I was a kid. Classic. And so currently, classics. Classic. The music, the everything. Oh. You're getting
me wanting to play now. I don't know. It's been a minute since I played.
Right. Oh man.
It's like, I feel like I've just been activated. You know what I mean? You hear that, and
you got the power. You got the mushroom. You got the mushroom. Yeah. Boom. You ate the mushroom, and boom. Now you're big. So currently today, it's a flip of the coin, because I would say between Madden still and Halo. Those are my 2. I would sit like last night and this morning. I even got around to, even though I didn't get a win, I got around to Halo this morning right before I started cutting the grass. And then last night, I think I was up to almost 1 a.m. I streamed during the day. I did Guilty Gear, which is a fighting game, Guilty Gear Strive. And then I jumped off 7, got some dinner around 8, and then came back up around 10 and played till like 1 o'clock some Madden. So I'm a first generation Madden player. So that's one game I'm gonna always have. Even when I'm owing more grade than this, I'm always play Madden, even when my reflexes get slow.
Dynasty mode? Are you dynasty mode guy?
I'm doing it on college football. So yes, I have two Nebraska teams. One, I only lost 2 games, but I ended up losing in the national title game to Penn State somehow. I don't know how that worked out, but it did. No, in the college football playoff, sorry. And then the next one I'm Nebraska, but the commissioner put us in the Pac-12. I was like, we're in the Pac-12? So yeah, that was fun.
That sounds almost as weird as real life.
Right.
Conferences.
I'm like, yeah,
right now.
You definitely realigning right there. There you go.
All right, Ahman. Look, we from gaming to football. Obviously, you're a man of many interests. Let our audience know where they can find you and keep up with everything that you've got going on.
All right, we'll start on Twitch. So I'm on Twitch. There are 2 channels that I manage there. Ahman Green TV. I'm on Wednesdays. That's where I do my podcast at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. And then also I'm on there probably the next channel, NIL TV Esports. I'm on there 7 days a week between Call of Duty, Halo, Madden, 2K, fighting games, Street Fighter, Tekken, Guilty Gear Strive, and other shooters like Marvel Rivals, Apex Legends, Overwatch. And then Doom Dark Ages is my RPG game I'm playing right now. That is tomorrow, Saturday, is Doom the Dark Ages. And yeah, so I'm on there 7 days a week. That's NIL TV Esports. And then you can find me on X at Ahman Green 30 and Ahman Green Gamers Lounge, and on Instagram, Ahman Green 30 and Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. And for any business inquiries, you can hit me at LinkedIn. I do esports camps on the road and lectures for NIL and how to build your brand as a content creator. So there you go. That's where you can find me.
There you go. All right. So good luck with that Cornhuskers dynasty mode. I hope you can bring home a national championship your next season here. And we appreciate you making some time for us today.
Hey, no problem. Ricky, thanks for having me on. I hope you guys have a good year. I'm talking about Bears, that they turn it around, because I want Caleb to be good. I'm a Packer, and I want him to do good. So that's a lot saying that.
It is. Thank you, my friend. That was a fun one for me, even if it did bring up some of my memories of what the Packers have been doing to my Bears for pretty much this entire century now, Ronnie. But Ahman Green was one of the best of his era, man. If you go back and you look at the numbers that he was putting up there, he had 4,000 plus yard years in a row where he went well over 1,000 yards a number of times. Just a terrific player and a guy that probably doesn't get enough love when you really look at it. Because, I mean, over 9,000 yards that he rushed for in the NFL. That's a pretty exclusive club.
Yeah, man. I mean, his stating his 40 times explains now why he hit the hole so fast, right? My God, he used to hit the hole fast. And I got to tell you what, man, I'm glad I held my tongue. I so desperately wanted to correct him when he kept saying pony, and then he finally corrected himself and said, no, kangaroos. I was like, no, Ahman, they weren't ponies.
Yeah, he caught himself.
Yep.
On that one. We were just talking about those roos earlier this week with Walter's son, Jarrett. Well, it's a Friday, Ron, and obviously just talking to a former Pro Bowl player, our mind is on football. I know that you've got a big Saturday slate of college action that you're going to be digesting before Sunday. But what we do, Ron, is we pick NFL games. And we've got something at stake this year. Even though I did kind of have Angel Reese's back earlier in the program, I still don't want to wear a merch, Ron. Let's make no mistake about it. I don't want any rumors.
I want to buy her merch way less than I want to wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna take a dive here just so I can wear a Me Bounds hoodie later this year. No, that's not gonna happen. But let's go ahead and get into our week 2 picks, Ron. Last week, we both went 2-2. So we begin this week with a clean slate.
Push.
What are you thinking?
Push. So, push. I think the Lions have to get a win, and so I think they're going to be on all cylinders. And I don't know about your Bears, dude. I just don't know about them. So I'm going Lions. Dolphins. Again, what did I say? Dysfunctional. I'm going to stick with dysfunctional until they prove me wrong. So I'm going to go Patriots. the Ravens are going to be furious that they let that one slip through their hands, and they are going to come out and they're going to pummel that team. And the fact that it's an 11.5 spread tells you Vegas thinks they're going to pummel them. So I think they're really going to pummel them. And then I think the Steelers looked really good on offense, and I think they're going to get better on defense. So that's why I'm taking the Steelers.
All right, let me look at yours real quickly here. Look, that 6.5 with the Lions, I understand why that's tempting. I think the Lions are going to win, but I don't think that they're going to cover. I think that the Bears are going to keep that game fairly close, and I think they're going to end up coming a little bit inside that 6.5 window, although, I certainly don't feel super strongly about any Bears conviction that I have at this point. Patriots, I certainly see why you're doing that. Things are not good in Miami. I mean, Mike McDaniel is at risk of losing his job. I don't know what ownership's appetite is for a coaching change midseason, but in the NFL, we know that happens with pretty good regularity. I got to think that he needs this one. I'm not saying that he's coaching for his job this week, but he needs a win. Vrabel getting started with a loss at home last week to the Raiders, so I don't know. That's a coin flip for me. Steelers, I actually had the Steelers. I thought the line was 2.5. I was looking at an older line, and I had the Steelers also, Ron. And then when Jared came back and told me that the line is 3.5, I reversed course. I like the chances of them winning by a field goal. I like the chances of them winning by more than a field goal less. And then you're going to see as we transition over to my picks, I also like the Ravens against the Browns. So we've got 3 where we differ this week. Ron, I am going to,
2
I don't know. This is a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling. I feel like I picked too many favorites.
Oh, I feel that way all the
that's
time.
one of my things. I feel like it's easier to go with the favorite. Look, I think the Broncos are going to be very good this year. I think the Broncos are going to be very good. I think that the Titans playing them within 8 points, whatever it was last week, Mile High, with Cam Ward in his NFL debut. I think that's actually not such a bad omen for the Titans. And so Cam Ward at home, first time ever in Nashville. Rams coming in, 5.5. Fuck it. I'm going to go with the Titans. I don't necessarily think they're going to win the game. I'm hoping that they can keep it close at least. Broncos, coming back to what I was saying. I really like the Broncos. Now, this is one of those where I'm gambling that the Titans playing the Broncos to within 8 points last week says more about the Titans being better than I thought they were and less about the Broncos not being as good as I think they are. That 1.5 points against the Colts, we're going to find out a little bit this week. Those early season games, Ron, they're find out games.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones, we've heard, again and again, first quarterback to lead a scoring drive every possession, which is a nice little bar bet. But just because he didn't have to take a knee at the end of the game, it's whatever. It's a statistical oddity as far as I'm concerned. But we're going to find out how much of it was the Dolphins being a complete disaster and how much of it was the Colts being frisky. I still like the Broncos there to cover that. And of course, Will Lutz, I'm counting on him to kick at least 2 extra points. And then lastly, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs and the points at home at Arrowhead. That place is going to be rocking. And they've had a long time to think about how they got their asses handed to them in the Super Bowl. And I think that the Chiefs are going to show up and they're going to you can't get revenge on losing the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to get some small measure of satisfaction by getting a home win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Ronnie, with all of that being said, I now turn to you with concern and perhaps even some trepidation. And I ask simply, what the fuck, Ron?
We're going to do a little rewind here, Ricky. So 15 years ago, Ohio State and Ohio University played a football game, and they're going to play again tomorrow night. Well, the big thing, the big memory out of that game 15 years ago was there was a kid named Brandon Henning, and he specifically tried out to be the mascot for the Bobcats, and the Bobcat, it was Rufus the Bobcat. He said he specifically tried out to be the mascot for one reason and one reason only, just so he could do what you're about to see.
Assault Brutus? Is that
Yep.
is that
Watch
is
it.
that
There
what
he is
that
again.
was?
So there he is again in the end zone.
Did he get arrested?
No, he
You
got
can't
kicked out of
just
the stadium.
assault a guy.
Look at Brutus is like, what are you doing? He actually got kicked out of the stadium. So that day they didn't have the mascot. And I got to tell you, as an Ohio State fan, I don't have it on, but you know, when Jeter got that hit in his little nephew, respect. You tried out just so you could do that. It's kind of badass, Ricky.
Look, I don't want to, like, I know I'm the 70s guy and I'm like, rub some dirt on it. I said that earlier in the show, but like, you can't just fucking assault somebody. I mean, he could have hurt Brutus. I mean, there's a human being in there.
No, Brutus had a Guardian helmet on. Didn't you see it?
Oh my God. Well, in that case, I guess all is fair.
I
Let's
mean,
go
you
to
got to
poll
respect
replies,
the kid.
Ron, see what
He tried
I
out
don't
because he
know.
knew he wanted to do that. That's so good. Like, that's why he did it. Oh, so
fucking
good.
loser. Let's go to poll replies. It's a different story if he fucking broke the guy in the Brutus costume's collarbone or something. You know, he picked him up and slammed him like it was a fucking
suplex.
WWE event. Yeah, I'm coming to Brutus's defense here on the program today. Which one of us went to the Ohio State University again? Sounds like it's me today, Ron. OH. That's all I have to say. Dodgeball is your winner here on Championship Friday. We're going to the Why Not tournament here with this. I do believe that French fries belong in the tit, Tim, as I said earlier in the show. The Moops says, I would drape myself in curly crinkle and shoestrings if it were socially acceptable. Just rubbing those curly fries into your chest. I still say Rax is better than Arby's, if you can find a Rax. Joliet, Illinois has one. Rex Crum says, to me, French fries are the Larry Bird of this Championship Friday. All the other motherfuckers are playing for second place. Rex, in a just world, you'd be right. But in the world that we live in, the thirst for braining young children with rubber balls has prevailed today. Mark Clark says, dodgeball just because you can get revenge for the nerdy kids screwing up the grading curve. Guess what? You might be the valedictorian one day, but you're going to get your brain scrambled right now, and you're going to win that valedictorian award with what's left of your IQ. Coach Pilarski says dodgeball will always win. Coach is right. Look at that whistle around the neck there. The avatar looks like it's ready to oversee a game of dodgeball. TM Droid says, I wish they would have dodgeball at my place at work to be able to hand out concussions like one would hand out candy at Halloween. Sweetness. We could settle things like the modern duel, Ron. 10 paces and then turn around and throw one of those red balls at each other. Let's settle it like men. Landon Nolan says, give the special teams some more love, especially with the game on the line. Hey, darn right. Matt Prater. We still remember what Matt Prater did on Sunday night, coming in looking like a member of a law firm and booting one through to get the Buffalo Bills off to a good start this year. Ron, we got a fight tomorrow on Netflix tomorrow night, and I am planning my weekend around it. I'm not even going to lie to you. I have been looking forward to this fight for months now. I think this is the most that I have anticipated any fight, probably in years. And it's going to be on Netflix, so it's practically free. It's not a pay-per-view event. The new world in which we live, we're starting to get some of these premium events just on streaming. Terrence Bud Crawford, Ron, moving up in weight to the 168-pound super middleweight division to take on Canelo Alvarez in a fight that promises to be absolutely riveting. Bud Crawford, considered by many to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He's won championships at lower weights. He was the welterweight champion, which is 147. He's had one fight at 154, and now he skips middleweight and jumps all the way to 168 to take on maybe the greatest fighter of his generation in Canelo Alvarez. Ron, what do you think?
Crawford's had what, one fight since 2023? Is he going to be rusty?
He has not been very active. Canelo more active than Crawford recently, yes. So that's a factor.
And then
most people are looking at it and saying that Canelo is comfortable at 168. Canelo is used to carrying that weight. He's used to getting hit by bigger guys. And so the concern is, and Canelo's the betting favorite. He was minus 250 last I looked. Crawford was plus 155, something like that, Ron. But Crawford is undefeated.
Or are you betting on the match?
I have $400 on this fight, sir.
What?
Yes, I do. I've got $400 riding on this fight. 200 of my own money and 200 of rewards that I got through through a
So who did you going
advertising on this program.
Yeah, who are you going with?
Terrence Crawford.
Okay.
Terrence Crawford.
All right, well then I'm going to root for Terrence Crawford.
I'm a big believer that he's going to. I like Canelo. I like both of these guys as people. I've listened to a lot of their interviews. Canelo seems like a great guy. I think Crawford is a fascinating dude. He's a boxing genius. Canelo is a boxing genius too. But if we talked about it, Ron, how back in the old days there would be some fights that would break through into the public consciousness.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this fight has done that, but I'm telling you this. If you appreciate great boxing, the old days, and I know that you're a fan of like the old 70s, 80s, 90s top tier boxing, if there was ever one to watch, tune into Netflix on Saturday night because you are going to see two of the very, very, very best matching up what they've got head to head. And while I think Crawford is going to win, I certainly don't feel super confident about that. There's a reason he's an underdog. He's moving way up, but it promises to be a good one, Ronnie. And I will leave everybody today with these thoughts as we go, if we can put it up here, just hearkening back to our poll. And one of the poll subjects that did not fare so well today, but I'd like to remind you, if Tom Dempsey can kick a 63-yard field goal without a fucking foot, maybe you can get your ass out of bed and be great this weekend. Think about that a little bit. And he was a big fat load too, and he didn't let that stop him either. I met Tom Dempsey one time, Ron. He didn't have a right hand either. And I met him one time, and I instinctively stuck my hand out to shake his hand. Not realizing he gave me his other hand. He gave me like a left hand backhanded handshake, and I felt like an asshole. So there you have it, which is a frequent feeling that I have experienced throughout my life. Not uncommon for me at all. All right, Ron, I appreciate you, brother. Enjoy your weekend. My thanks to Ahman Green for joining me today. I enjoyed that conversation quite a lot. My thanks to Molly and Colin in Nashville, to P.A. Jarrett, and the best producer in the business. He is, of course, producer Tim, but most of all, it's no secret, most of all, I thank you, you sweet bastards, because you're the reason that we do this. You're the reason that I'm here. You put me here, and I appreciate you. In fact, I love you. You can find us, as always, at foxnationoutkick.com and on YouTube at The Ricky Cobb Show. That is our new channel. Head over there, The Ricky Cobb Show. Subscribe, and you'll get everything conveniently in one location. You can find us in podcast form on Apple and Spotify, and we're also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. And I'll be on X all throughout the weekend doing what I do at Super 70 Sports. Drop by and pay me a visit. In fact, pay me a few visits, won't you? And let's make a deal that we'll meet right back here on Monday when I promise you we are going to tee it high and we will let it fly with another episode of The Ricky Cobb Show.